Hey Siri, Siri, what's Siri? Siri is my whistleblower. It's on the iPhone. That's a Siri or Alexa. Alexa's a whistleblower. In my neighborhood, if you're a whistleblower, that means you're a stool pigeon. And you're not going to be around too much longer with that mouth of yours. You're going to have masking tape on it, or they're going to find your body in Staten Island in the great burial grounds. I mean, nobody really wants to respect a whistleblower because it's a snitch. It's someone in the school that squeals and tries to get a brown nose, right? Of course, there's a lot of brown noses now because of inclusion. But you know, we had all these people that used to stick their nose into everybody else's business and try to score. Here we go again, brownie points. Why is everything brown? So you know, there's some way that we have to really get to the point of what this is. And I'll tell you what it is. You want to know what this is? This is the government seizing control through the FCC of the internet. That's what this is. Now, you know, everything else is just a lot of BS. Here's what they're doing. The government, the Congress now controls the Federal Communications Commission. The appointment is from the president of the commissioner for the FCC. Most of these people have never really been in broadcasting. They know dirt about broadcasting, you know. They are like Chick-fil-A on Sunday. They mean no harm because they're phantoms. They're not even there. Now here's what the FCC has done. Through the years, here's what they've done. They got rid of equal time laws, which means that a person who has no money, virtually, you know, small amount of money, needs to have the same amount of air time on radio and television broadcasting over the air as the people who have a lot of money. And the power structure is to the person who really is equal. Now that's equal time in a democracy. The other thing, they allow you to own as many radio and TV stations as you want. So now we have a couple of companies that incidentally, like iHeart, is bankrupt, but they own hundreds of stations. And they're now using the internet to make money to support their stockholders in the company that is owning all these stations that they can't afford because people aren't listening to radio and they're not watching TV the way they used to. You know, we've all switched to the phone. The phone is directing the traffic. Like right now, you know, you're watching me on another instrument. You're not watching me on over-the-air television or on cable, and you're paying for this. You know, as a subscriber, you have to have a server, AT&T or Sprint or whatever you have. Those guys, they run the roost. Every month you give them a little money, and they keep the juice on. And what the FCC is really pissed off about is they don't control the internet, and they can't control it because it's freedom of speech. So what they're trying to do now is to find fault with everybody who's involved. Like Zuckerberg is a good example because he's a young whiz kid, and they have 60 billion people around the world on Facebook. That's bigger than the American government. Of course they want to control that. They want to put their ads on there for their offices and their agendas and everything else that they're doing. You know, another thing, people in Congress and in Senate should not be in office for 30 years or 40 years or 20 years. They really should have a term or two and then go home, just like the president does. They should go home. I mean, you know, we're supporting these guys. They're like, they have lifetime jobs. They have prestige. They have all the money that they ever needed to do anything they want to do, and they have medical benefits up the kazoo and long retirement plans. That's all what we want. We elected them so they give that to us, and meanwhile they give it to themselves, and they hold on to lifetime jobs. Well, then that's something. You know, I'm a broadcaster, radio and TV. They told me a long time ago, you've had a nice run. That means you're done. Hey, do I look like I'm done? I'm not done. I'm well done. I do well, and I, you know, see, when you take someone like me and you aggravate me, you're gonna hear it from another place. I'm not a whistleblower. I'm a guy who really tells the truth. I have nothing to fear, and I don't have anything to fear but fear itself, like Roosevelt once said, president. I think somewhere along the line, we got to wake up. Never mind giving the government control of anything. They can't control their bowels. Those guys all wear Depends. They gotta wear it because everything that they do depends. It's a wet dream to be in to believe these people. Come on. Oh, and the big news today is Folgers Coffee sold their jingle. I never drank Folgers Coffee. I can't even remember singing the jingle. It's something like start the morning in your cup or something like that. I do that when I pee. But this is nothing. Those are 2 urine jokes so far this morning. Oh man, I'm watching television, I'm getting just disgusted. See, I'm a minority in watching TV because it's all minorities. Black guy is running the Oscars this year. The 95th Oscars is being run by a black guy. There's inclusion, we're trying to make everybody feel good. And you're not going to make everybody feel good. You got to give jobs to people who are qualified and educate everybody, give everybody an opportunity, but not a feel good. I don't want a pat on the back. I just want someone to get out of the way and let me do what I know how to do. That's all. You don't have to praise me. I don't need to have fame. I don't need to have fortune. It would be nice. But I like to have just the other stuff. I want just the right to work. I mean, I'm a white guy. I'm an average white band. Average white guy who's should, by the book, be retired. I was in the doctor's office yesterday, and I was sitting there. I got to show you my stats. I got my blood pressure. And it's, 82 over 100 and something. I don't know, or 100 and something over 82. I'm in good shape. And I shouldn't be at my age. I'm looking at everybody around me in the office, and they look like they better write out their wills yesterday. So I guess I'm an exception for my age, and they don't know how to deal with me, so they don't. Everybody leaves me alone, like I'm retired. They said, "Oh, you're retired?" No, I'm not retired. How can I be retired? I'm getting on the air and doing what's supposed to be done on the media. I'm not someone who has some sort of a need to cry about how rough life has been. I'm 40 years sober in a 12-step program. So come on, and I'm fairly healthy, and I don't have a job. Why? Because I'm old. Stupid. Are you kidding? You put me on television, and I'm not saying that I want to be there tonight. But you put me on the TV and I'll change the world. I will change the whole world. Why? Because I'll have fun and I'll have people on the air that are interesting instead of moaning and groaning and bitching about everything all the time, who did what wrong and what's bad. I mean, we got to start laughing a little bit and have some fun with things. This is like this is a terrible time in history for an average white guy. Am I an average white guy? I don't know. I have a nice tan, but this is it. This is the truth. See, you don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to know the truth. There is a lot that's going on here underneath the skin with me, and I just want to share with you the fact that I'm your guy. I'm not running for office. No. And I'm not. I don't want anybody to just hire me to shut me up. They want to hire you, and they pay you, and then you don't say anything because the rules say you can't talk. I want to be able to do this. So I would rather sit here on my porch and do this every day than to be a part of a format where you have to open the news and start interviewing authors. If you're such a good interview, why don't you just go ahead and be on the air and be talked to, instead of writing a book about it. I've had a couple books out there. I wrote the Bible. That's on broadcasting. Forgot to fill that in. Okay. I'm clearing my throat and I'm saying I'll be back. So I have, what is it? What did he tell me again? You've had a nice run. Yeah, and I've had a nice walk too. And I'm gonna go swimming. I'm gonna keep my system up so that I can do this every day and complain like everybody else who's the average white guy. It's a Reynolds wrap.